Hey up lads and lasses, Damphyre here, back again with some more Infinite Lagrange. Today, going through the new preview notes as still testing the cruisers like I said I'd probably be doing, because they're just going to take longer. Unfortunately, I also think that my server will end soon. So hopefully I can get the cruisers tested by then, but it's going to definitely take longer if the server ends to test out all the battle cruisers and carriers, and well, most of the fighters I can sort of get done already, but we'll have to see. So this week we got lucky because the preview came out. I didn't know about this, but I was waiting for the version to come out that was not in Chinese. Because they send me stuff early in Chinese, it's really not bloody helpful to me whatsoever, having to try and translate it all, and then the translation is usually incorrect as well. So, for those of you who have seen this, well, you probably don't need to watch it, but I'll just be going through and I'll give my sort of views and stuff on things that are changing. For those of you that don't know about this, they are changing strategic strikes. There's a slight buff to them. I say slight, but we'll get into that. And we are getting a new frigate. So without further ado, let's jump in and have a read and see what's going on. We strive to craft a Lagrange network that is realistic and rich in strategy for all explorers. To provide a more in-depth and compelling battle experience combined with strategic gameplay, we will soon be making adjustments to the strategic strike feature, auxiliary ship docking, ship speed mechanism. Furthermore, we will be releasing the all-new blueprints for the Mer Imbrium. Look, they put a Mer one in I can pronounce. Someone's going to tell me in the comments I got that wrong as well. Assault frigate and its variant model. Strategic strike adjustment. The flagship skill, Strategic Strike, has been under the spotlight since its update. Based on feedback from explorers, data-driven analysis, and in-depth gaming experience, we believe the current application scenarios of the Strategic Strike are somewhat limited and require an improvement in terms of flexibility and playability. To this end, we will remove the 10-minute prep timer from the Strategic Strike while increasing the maximum range of the Strategic Strike. Moreover, all aircraft in the fleet can be deployed to the strike operation. So the 10-minute prep removal, it doesn't really help it, to be honest with you, and neither does increasing the strike range. That does not fix any of the issues that currently arise with it, and that is, if you strategic strike something in PvP, if they have AA, you will lose your entirety of your air within the matter of minutes, and there's very little they can do about that. There are some, to an extent, exceptions here, and that's if somebody's using multiple ults to reinforce into fleet to give them more of the T800s and that kind of thing. And at that point, the strategic strike becomes okay at best, and you will still lose a lot of air to it, and it does very little to the enemy. The biggest problem is the action point cost, in my opinion. So currently, the only real use for the strategic strike is farming experience on your fighters and corvettes, and just hitting NPCs with it. I don't feel that that's changed. However, the bit where it says all aircraft in the fleet can be deployed to the strike operation, I don't know what that quite means. Currently, strikes work in a sort of wave, like 10 of your ships or however many of your ships will arrive, and they'll start in the battle, and then a few more of your aircraft arrive, and so on and so forth. This is partially the reason why the wipes happen to your air, is because the 10 aircraft go up into a swarm fleet, and now they've got 120 aircraft to deal with. It's just not going to work out too well for those first 10, and then your next 10 come in, but at that point the 10's already been wiped. So yeah, if it means that all your aircraft hit at the same time, it would be better, certainly in that situation, but you're still going to lose probably all the aircraft because you don't have the support from the ships, which are also providing AA support. You know, things like winged hussars and stuff like that are going to be triggered in the defender's fleet. So yeah, I'm not sure what they can really do to make strategic strikes better without making them overpowered. The balance on them is going to be exceptionally difficult. Auxiliary ship feature upgrade. In the world of Lagrange, auxiliary ships that can operate independently as mobile fleet should play a flexible role in the front line for resupplying the battlefield. Considering the current demands of star system battles and frontline backup, we will upgrade the features of the auxiliary ships. After the update, when the auxiliary ships fleet is expanded, other fleets docked with it can utilize the auxiliary ships, fighters, or corvette shipyards to resupply fighters or corvettes to their fleets. When explorers engage in battle away from their base, should they lose any aircraft in battle, they can use auxiliary ships to restore their lost. So this is actually a really good buff and change to how the auxiliary ships work. I think this is by far the right direction for auxiliary ships to take as well. The idea of having, like, being able to sit back maybe on your advanced mining platform or something so you can quickly defend it if necessary, but be able to move your fleet forwards with, you know, auxiliary ships in like the second row, so when you do inevitably lose all your air, you can redock with that auxiliary ship for repairs and, you know, grab your fighters and vets back and that kind of thing. That's going to make it far more useful than it currently is. So definitely be having a look into that, because that might actually make auxiliary ships to an extent more useful than they currently are. Well, it's definitely more useful than they currently are. So we'll have to wait and see. There's still the biggest problem is I think they're very, very expensive for what they do. And unless you use like little tricks to send out different auxiliary ships with one with corvettes and one with fighter dock on it, you'll only be able to do one or the other. So we'll have to see how that plays out. That's going to have to be tested really, and to see how viable it is. If it's quick enough at building the aircraft, fine. The other big problem here is if it's only fighters and corvettes. If you've lost destroyers and frigates in battle, you're not going to be able to replace them. So there's a chance that you're just going to go back to base anyway, so you can replace them. Yeah, we'll have to see how that one works. Ship speed mechanism update. The cruising speed and warp speed of a ship play important roles in determining its strategic prowess. The speed variations among different ships significantly impact the fleet build. After considering the feedback from explorers and factoring in the real-world scenarios of space cruising, we are introducing a mechanism for space cruising acceleration. Once the fleet enters its cruising state, it undergoes constant acceleration until it hits a preset speed, after which it will maintain a steady pace. With the acceleration mechanism, the ship's mid-range cruising experience will be improved. Meanwhile, we have adjusted the calculation method for the fleet's warp speed, which will now be based on the average warp speed across all ships in the formation. That's a fantastic change. With these adjustments in place, the fleet speed won't remain constant, whether fast or slow. For short-range cruising, the flexibility of a fleet starting speed is crucial. For mid-range cruising, all fleet types will see a general increase in speed. For long-range cruising, those high-speed ships in the fleet formation will play a more important role, allowing for dynamic speed adjustment based on the fleet's structure. This is a really good change just overall to the playability of the game, full stop. Some of the biggest problems myself have with the game is the fact that if you are quite far away from, say, the front line or something, and you've just had to get your fleet back to repair it, it's now repaired, now you're flying it back, it takes like 6 hours to get back, and now it's, 2 or 3 in the morning, and who the hell's going to get up at that time to jump on just to do like a couple of attacks? I mean, some people do, but I digress. This idea where you'll be able to get your fleets out quicker, because say my reinforced fleet with my solar whale is flying about, now I need to jump it over somewhere else. With the warp speed increase, because most of my fleet is still going to be pretty fast ships, I run IOs in it, for example, and I run destroyers and that kind of thing, they're quite quick warp speed, so that average is actually much higher than what the solar whale is going to bring it down to. So now I've got, a fleet that's relatively quick. As with the cruising speeds, it's again going to be really interesting to see how that actually plays out. It's obviously for short range, you're going to still want your fast fleets, like they've mentioned, because there's a build-up in momentum. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what kind of tactics come to fruition with that. Long-range cruising with very fast ships might be like a viable strategy to hit into like different regions of enemy controlled areas, slow, heavy, brawly fleets. Maybe you're still probably going to try to stick to warp, but if the cruising speed's, not too bad, you might not have to scout so much to sort of give you warp points for them. So we'll definitely have to see what plays around with that speed mechanic, but it's a general good upgrade. It's a general speed increase. It's a time reduction of what you necessarily need to do or to wait on. And I'm all for all of that. Now, this is the new frigate, the Mer Imbrium. It's Juniper by the looks of it. It reminds me of the Quawa a bit, but we'll have to see what's going on here. So, the Mer Imbrium assault frigate is named after Imbrium, the second largest mer on the moon. A vast and shadowy region. The Mer Imbrium frigate is designed for rapid assault strategies. It's fitted with large caliber bow-mounted railguns and adopts the firepower assault combat approach, allowing it to unleash full firepower on enemies shortly after the battle begins. Firepower assault, is that the rapid fire one from the whatchamacallit, the Quawa railgun and the HC heavy cannon? I think that's firepower assault. I'd have to double check that though. Actually, do you know what? Drop a comment down below if you know what firepower assault is, as I'd have to open up different windows and stuff, and God knows what would happen to the recording if I try and do that. So yeah, drop it down in the comment below. I'll double check it, and then the comment first that tells me what the firepower assault is will get pinned to the top, so everyone can have a quick look down there to see what firepower assault is. Maneuver operation ability. Being a frigate that's active in the front line, its survivability is crucial. When the HP of the Mer Imbrium frigate falls below a specified level, it will retreat to the mid-row. So that's standard at the moment. It's a front row combat frigate, which is fine, and retreats to mid-row when it, loses so much health. If its HP dips even more, it will initiate the evasive maneuvers again to retreat to the back row. I honestly don't know how much or that's going to realistically help it. It's already break and lock on from front row to mid row of direct fire ships. Now your problem here is missiles, and missiles will hit mid to back row. I don't know. If you've got back row tank, if you've got mid row tanks still left, so when these move back to the back row, you still got, say, Reliat or something, mid row tanking. Yeah, certainly useful in that situation. It's going to be quite fleet specific to get the most out of evasive maneuvers, I think. But we'll have to wait and see. And we have no stats here, unfortunately. We can see that there's a bow railgun system, generic cannon system for your AA. The armor system looks pretty bog standard as well. Power system, I think that's actually meant to be the propulsion system. It's just been oddly translated, maybe. And there is a command system, but it's only got one slot in it, which genuinely means it'll be the one to decrease the time to repair components. Or modules, sorry. So not much really to see there, unfortunately. And there is a pulse cannon variant, which will probably be pretty good. The variant model, Mer Imbrium Experimental Pulse Cannon Frigate. The Mer Imbrium Assault Frigate variant model, Mer Imbrium Experimental Pulse Cannon Frigate. I could have been better worded, that lot, couldn't it? Is Jupiter's Industries another attempt at minimizing the size of high-power weapons. This variant model inherits the main model characteristics of rapid assault, boasting the cutting-edge Imbrium Pulse Cannon system, including a medium-sized anti-ship pulse cannon and 2 small anti-aircraft pulse cannons. For the demands of a flexible breakthrough during battles, the Mer Imbrium Experimental Pulse Cannon Frigate has a feature to disable all anti-aircraft weapons shortly after the battle begins. This aircraft redirects all energy to its main weapon, significantly improving... Oh, God. Swimming redirects all energy to its main weapon. Oh, hang on. No, that's completely fine. I thought it meant it was going to disable anti-aircraft weapons on your enemy fleet. It's not. It's going to turn its own secondary weapons off to boost its main damage off its main primary weapon. It's interesting that it says it's got a medium-sized anti-aircraft, anti-ship pulse cannon. I'm not sure if medium means destroyer or cruiser, because that's the first time they've ever said medium-sized or small size or anything sized of any of these, so not a clue what's going on there, really. It's not a bad-looking ship. It looks kind of disjointed a little bit, like it's just parts of other ships. I don't know. I'm not sure I like it too much. Again, these screenshots and stuff aren't particularly great, so we'll have to wait and see. So, from November the 8th to November 29th, Jupiter Fortune United ship tech files will be available in the Trade Center, granting you a chance to receive the blueprint of the Mer Imbrium Assault Frigate and get a 50% discount on your first purchase of tech files during the event. Explorers can purchase different versions of the Mer Imbrium at the trading spots, and they're temporary. Be aware again, if there are ones for Proxima from the space trading posts, they are temporary. Do not buy those. Only buy the base variant that don't cost you Proxima. Otherwise, you're just wasting Proxima. You do not get to keep them. And yeah, that's it. So, we've got on the 15th of November, the blueprint will be added to the research agreement and also to tech files. It'll be on the BP files 1.0 and ship and aircraft BP files. Okay, so it's going to be in all boxes as well, including being added to the Jupiter Industries tech files and tech files selected by enterprises. So, 15th, you'll be able to get it in boxes and research agreement, etc. And from the 8th, you can spend your hard-earned money on probably not getting it from the boxes, because I've never gotten any ship from the event boxes when they release them, ever, in 2 and a bit years. Wait, might be longer now. I don't know anymore. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.